It is Sunday night and we are live in the madhouse. This is the Maverick Soul Hour with Tommy Marr. I'm your host, Tommy Marr, and God almighty, do we have a good one tonight. I'm telling you guys, sit back, get yourself comfortable. This is going to be a good ride, let me tell you something. But as always, before I get started and introduce my guest, I want to thank my people. So my last show, the Dead Superstars, Terrence, Keith, and the boys. Guys, you were great. Thanks for coming in. Going to have you back when you get your next album out. When you finish it, we'll have you back. You guys were awesome. Enjoyed it. Also, I want to send out a loving, loving birthday wish to my daughter, my beautiful daughter, Angela. Happy birthday. I love you. I wish you nothing but happiness. That's the best thing I could ever wish for you. Then I want to talk about last week. Janine, myself, and Vicky were invited by Vince Martell from Maverick Fudge to come into West Bay Music Fair. They were playing with the Rascals there. We were backstage with them, and we were also with Felix Cavalera. And it was just a great night all around. Great friends. We ran into so many friends: Rusty Blades, George Fedden, John. It was just a great night of great friends backstage, and then went out and had the treat of listening to two of my all-time favorite bands ever. So it was a great night, a great night. I want to talk about this weekend. Haven't stopped yet. Just had my knee surgery, and it's been a rough one. But Friday night we were invited as guests, and I actually did some emceeing for this for the USO, which here at Madhouse, kids, veterans. I mean, we're there in a minute, and it was a great. I got to tell you though, I never ever even heard of this place, and I know Jamaica, Queens very, very well. It's right by the train station there. It's a place called the Amazura Concert Hall. Holds 3,500 people. Massive. Like they had like $2 million worth of lasers in the place. It was incredible. I want to say that my brothers, Frankie D and Henry K and Mr. Mark Mendoza from Twisted Sister, we had a great time with you guys. Frankie, I watched you all night. I mean, you never stopped you probably didn't stop for a month, but that night I actually watched you all night, and you never stopped. I take my hat up to you and Henry and Mark. You guys did a phenomenal job. I mean, what you did for the USO and the policemen, and I mean, it was just an awesome. I mean, it was crazy. They had Bumblefoot from Guns N' Roses there, Mark Mendoza from Twisted Sister. It just went on and on. The drummer from Korn was there, Adrenaline Mob, and it was just nonstop acts, one after another without stopping, DJs in between. It was just an incredible night, and I want to thank you, Frankie and Henry. You treated us like royalty. I couldn't ask for anything more than you guys did for us. It was just a phenomenal night, and I really take my hat up to both of you. God bless the both of you guys. I'm telling you, you did a phenomenal job. Something that a lot more people in this country should do, because freedom, there is a price for it. And, people got to stop taking it for granted, because in this country, it seems like people take freedom for granted anymore. Go support your veterans, do the right thing. And then last night, I was asked to do a benefit for kids and families with cancer and whatever sicknesses and injuries and everything else for kids. And I was asked to do it. They did it in a few venues, I believe like 6 venues around Long Island. It was run by Carl Big Daddy Reamer, and the venue I was in was done with Alan Spielman, and Joan J. Byrd was the stage manager. And it was just a band after band after band, and I guess we kind of headlined it, and it wasn't my band, but I got to say it was a lot of fun. I got to do a bunch of songs I haven't done and never did, actually. A couple that I did, the Cocker stuff I always do, but a lot of Rare Earth and a lot of Santana and stuff like that. It was a great night. They raised a lot of money for these kids, and I'll tell you something. It was a really, truly, it really makes you feel good when you can do something like that, and especially for kids. I mean, what more could you ever ask for? So that about wrapped up. It was a very busy week, and this puppy is tired. let me tell you something. But I'm not tired here. I'll be tired when the show is over because I'll tell you right now, we have the man of the hour in the house tonight. I'm not even going to say anything. All I'm going to tell you is get ready, get comfortable, because when we come back from commercial, you're going to be blown away by who I got sitting right next to me here. So hang in there. And all right, hang in there. We'll be right back.
Stretching under sedation or manipulation under anesthesia is a very gentle, very precise procedure to very slowly release any scar tissue that is formed as a result of a traumatic injury. Many people ask, how does this work? Will I get hurt? Will you stretch me too far? We only stretch the body part to its normal range of motion. After completing the post-MUA rehabilitation program, it's very common that our patients say to us, hey, I can play ball with my kid again. Hey, I can bowl again. Hey, I can enjoy hiking again. This is what makes it rewarding to us as practitioners.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, DMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with the one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man. We are back in the Madhouse with the Maverick Soul, and I am Tommy Marr, your host. And guys, what a privilege and honor it is tonight to have. Now, I just told him I'm going to give him a new nickname. Now, I know he's the Birdman, but now I'm going to give him a new name because as of 2 weeks ago, he is now America's Sir Ricky Byrd. But I want to, before I even have him talk, I want to say something. Ricky, this is something it was in my head because we've talked many times. And this man has so many amazing paths to his life. And we are going to take you on the incredible journey of America's royalty. Just placed into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the Joan, Jett, and the Blackhearts, Mr. Sir Ricky Byrd. Ricky, thank you so much, man.
You all right?
Are you all right?
I'm all right.
I'm cool. I mean, what gets better than this? Are you still like up in the clouds?
Yeah. It was surreal is the best word for it.
Yeah, it had to be.
The whole weekend was surreal. I mean, leading up to it, when did we know? We heard we were getting in maybe a couple of months before, so I tried to put it out of my mind, and then it's getting closer and closer, and then you're getting on the flight. And
I mean, I know you were sending some pictures while you were there, and I mean,
I promised everybody I would.
It was surreal for me.
I was the Facebook man on the street.
That was cool, though. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, Steve Cropper. I mean, that one. I mean,
that was an amazing.
Steve
that was
Cropper.
so much fun.
Love the guy. It was actually surreal. to watch this happen to you as a fan, you know, but so well overdue, you know, so well overdue. And I mean, I'm so happy for you.
Thank
You're
you.
a good guy, and I know
As far as you know.
no, you know, as far as anybody knows. But I mean, I'll even quote you from one of your quotes is, you know, and I really love this quote that you said, you know, for a long time I was part of the problem, and now I am proud to be part of the solution.
Right.
I don't really want to go into that at this time, but I just want to give you a little setting, a little foundation of what this man's all about. He's one of the most humble guys you ever want to meet. And what I really, really love about you.
I had to learn that.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, I do believe this is a lesson place that we're
No
at
doubt,
here.
man.
I don't think this is it. This is just like an apprenticeship here. And, you know, I'm a little older than you. And believe me, I have come a long way from where I used to be, too. A long, long way. But the thing one of the things that I really, really respect about you is that you pay such homage, which it seems like, you know, I get to meet a lot of guys. I mean, I've met the biggest in the world. I've interviewed them. I've hung out with them. I've played with them. I've done everything. But there are a lot of them, and I'm sure you know a lot of them, that aren't the right way, you know, with people, their fans and that. You are so true to people, and what I love about you is the homage that you pay to the people that preceded you and taught you your craft, and I love that. I mean, the Wilson Pickett's, I mean, you know, we were just talking about it.
Muddy Waters had a song. The Blues had a baby, and they named it Rock and Roll. So it didn't just pop out of nowhere.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But what I say is that, you know, you do appreciate,
Of course.
where your craft came from.
No doubt.
And a lot of people don't. And you know, I know guys in the business that have, you know, were big, and some are still big and some aren't, and some and they don't really treat people right. And I mean, I like the real deal. And I mean, you are the real deal to me. I really like the way you are. You're a very gracious guy, and God, we'll get into it later. The time that this man gives to other people is just, it's incredible. And it's something that the world needs to do more of. I mean, there is, you know, like you said, you know, as we get older, we learn different things. And, you know, my whole perspective of life, you know, when you're out and you're young and you're trying to make a living for your family, and, you know, you kind of have a tunnel
Blinders on.
vision, you know, and you're not looking at the trees and you're not looking at the birds in the clouds. You kind of like,
Right.
And it's changed so much in the last 8 years for me. And I see the world in a different way. I see people in a different way. Unfortunately, I don't see this world that we're in going in a really good direction. And I really respect how, with all you could be doing with your time, you're taking your time and you're doing something to better the world. And I take my hat off to you for that. I really, truly do. And I mean,
Well,
it's something that
you
a
know
lot
what?
more
You,
should
you
do.
can't only keep your side of the street clean. You have to try to do some extra stuff.
Right. But don't you
Otherwise,
think that
nothing
a
gets
lot
done.
more people got to do it?
I don't know. I mean, I can only worry about myself. I mean, I found out as I get older that I'm either teaching or learning on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That's it. It's one of the two
Well,
things.
that's, you know, and that's another
Whether
thing.
it's on guitar, you know, I'm still. You should see me. Like I'll be sitting on the couch, right? And the way I write songs is I'll be watching Law and Order.
Right.
Because I can't focus on writing a song. I sit there with
Right,
the guitar
right,
on my
right,
lap,
right.
and then I'll play a riff that I never played before, and I'm like, wow, where'd that come from? And I get so excited about it.
Yeah.
Still, I started playing when I was 9.
Well-
You're always learning.
That's the great part about it. You know, that, you know, you don't, some people do get settled, and I've accomplished enough, I'm good.
Complacent.
And they're playing the same thing, you know, the same sets and the same thing.
Well, that's not to say that. I mean, I could play Chuck Berry until they put me in
No.
a box.
Right. But that's
I don't even have to go any further than that. I'm happy with that.
Right.
Playing those riffs.
Right. I hear you. But you're always expanding your
Yeah, I try.
horizons.
Yeah,
Right, you know, I mean,
within my wheelhouse.
Right. Well,
Because there's stuff that turns me on to play,
Right.
music wise, and there's stuff that doesn't turn me on to play. So I just try to get better at what I do.
right.
You know, take that specific piece of rock and roll that I play, which comes from specific places.
Right.
You know, I mean, the generation before me was the Stones and the Faces and the Kinks and the Who, and you take that, you go one step back, it's Jimmy Reed and Elmore James and Wilson Pickett and Otis Redding and Al Green. You know, that's where that's.
I'm in there too, man. I mean, I'm
That's
a
me.
little older than you, but so I'm in that other bracket right behind you. So I mean,
Well, we're also lucky. Did you grow up in New York?
yeah.
Okay. So the thing that the new generation doesn't realize is when we were kids, New York radio was unbelievable because one station,
Mary
like
Decay and the Swingin'
WMCA,
Soiree.
WMCA, let's say, in the course of 15 minutes, you heard Otis Redding,
Right.
then the Stones, then Dean Martin, then Classical Gas.
Right.
You know, they
was
don't
a
have that
transition.
today.
Yeah, it was a
It was all on
transition.
one. That's why
Right.
my range of music is so large because when I was a little kid, when I was in the sponge stage, soaking
Right,
everything in,
right.
I was lucky enough to grow up in a time when one station, AM radio, played all music on one station.
Right.
So even as great as things like XM radio is, where there's specific stations, most people get locked into one station.
Right. That's true. That's very true.
You know, I mean, I could go home and put on Frank Sinatra and love it just as much as Elmore James or
Right.
Chuck Berry or,
That's kind of what was cool about this thing for the USO on Friday night. It was so eclectic. You went from this to this to this to this. I mean, it was like it kept you like completely.
There's so much good music out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
You know, it's
There is.
it's ridiculous to just limit yourself. I mean, there's certain stuff that I just don't get. Like
Yeah.
for classical music, certain things I love, but I just don't. It doesn't put a run in my stocking.
Right.
As the
Well,
saying
I'm
goes.
like that. I'm like that too. I mean, I like all music. I can listen to certain music only so long.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but I am open to all music. Like, I mean, I'm not a big country guy. I'm liking it a little more because the guitars are getting a little more play in there, and it's kind of crossing into the rock, and a lot of rock guys going over.
Now see, the country that I want to listen to is Merle Haggard.
Yeah. Well,
And-
did you
and-
see the new Willie
and Hank
Nelson
Williams.
and Merle Haggard record?
No, I didn't hear. Is that something out?
It's crazy. Watch it. It's crazy.
Because
They just
now,
did an
now
album.
country, because of finance and the way the music business goes, the country record companies are pulling them closer to
Right.
pop music. It's
Oh.
all like one giant-
Machine, the assembly line, and it's really, the auto tune and everything. If you can't do it live, don't do it. I mean, it's sad because like coming from Long
You
Island.
don't want to get me started on
Yeah,
that.
but I know. But I'm saying, for me, I mean, I'm out there all over the place with the show. I've had everybody on here. I'm out there a lot. I perform myself, and I mean, I'm in a band, and I see talent on a daily basis. I could bring you right now within 10 miles of here and show you 100 people in an hour that could blow any of these people away that'll never be heard from. You know what I mean? That have number one
Well,
hits.
the thing
They've
about live
Byrds
TV,
and,
about auto tune, even whether it's live or whatever. I mean, I'm totally for mistakes. Like I would rather be live and make a mistake. And in fact, some
Well-
of the greatest rock and roll records or soul records
Zeppelin.
have little mistakes on them
Zeppelin
that
is-
we take as
Yeah.
we didn't know they were mistakes. They were mistakes.
Absolutely. Like in,
You know?
in Whole Lotta Love, when you
Yeah.
hear Plant in the back going, "Ah," that was a bleed through.
Sinatra said, people don't mind mistakes. They just don't like insincerity.
Right.
And I can assure you that when I make a mistake, I'm very sincere about it.
And again, I'll say it, everybody's going to yell again, but Neil Young says it best. That's the problem with today's music. It's too perfect. There isn't imperfections in it because I mean, I want to feel that I'm on this journey with you and it's real. And if you made a mistake, that's real. That
Well,
really
let me tell you
happened.
something. My record that came out 2 years ago, when we were recording it, and I was working with a great engineer from out in Long Island, Bob Stander.
This
We did it
Lifer?
together. Yeah, Lifer. And he would say, yeah, you're a little flat on that. And sometimes we would do it over,
Right.
but sometimes they say, no, that's good flat.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
soul flat right
That's
there.
right. That's right.
And we would just leave it.
Yeah.
Because it bend the note just to where it's kind of sexy.
I'm with that, man. I'm all about that. But being that we did talk about life, why don't we
Okay.
just let's just bring that up and let people
Yeah,
know
you got to
where-
reel me in, brother, man, because I'll just I'll
where you
be
can-
over here and over there.
We're going to be all over, but we're going to get you home. We're going to
Okay.
get you home.
Yeah,
I
right.
promise you. But where can that be? Picked up.
So Lifer, I recorded a record called Lifer because I am a lifer, and actually I got that term from I was reading a Damon Runyon book, and I was talking about lifers, like prison lifers. But it's the record that I was waiting to make my whole life. So since the music business is in quite a shambles, as far my side of it,
Right,
not for
right.
Jay-Z and those people,
Right,
but
right.
the rock and roll people. I decided since I didn't have a record company, it was an indie thing, and I was paying for it, I would do what I wanted. And what I did was I made it. It's all originals, but I had the flavor of the music that I listened to when I was 13 years old in the apartment when we moved from the Bronx to Queens. That when I got my vinyls and I was listening to the Faces and the Stones and Wilson Pickett, and I just wanted it to have that same feeling that got me excited and wanted to make me do this.
Right.
And that's what I did. That's what the record has.
Well, I always said, and I mean, not that I'm where you're at, but I mean, I just plug away, and now it's more of a hobby than anything. And I always said, if I could ever just make one record, that I wouldn't care if it sold one to one person, as long as I said I'm happy with it. So, are you happy with it?
Dude, I could listen to Tomorrow. I love it from top to bottom. Cool. There's nothing I would. The key is there anything you would change? Like, no. Beautiful. It came out exactly, and I took a lot of time to put the order together. There's a lot of special moments. It's a very New York City record. Listen, I could tell you what. I drive out to Jersey. We'll talk about this later. Doing music groups with Detoxes, but I'm in my black Challenger and I'm driving on the Jersey Turnpike. And when my record came out, little Steven loved it, and I was on Underground Garage for like 3 months, heavy rotation.
Right.
I'd be driving along, doing the speed limit, of course.
Of course.
And I'd hear one of the DJs, whether Andrew Oldham, say, "Oh, it's just a new one by Ricky," and I was like, "Wow." I was just blasted, and I was alone in my car, and then there I am.
That'd be a great feeling.
And really, whoever thought when you were a little kid that you'd hear that? I mean, we're in charge.
Well, everyone had the dream,
Yeah, of course.
Not many of them came true.
We're in charge of the process. The results, out of my hands. So when I started this record, I said to myself, I am not going to get bent out of shape, no matter how many it sells. I know the market's devastated. I don't know what's going on. It's hard to sell records. But I promised myself that I would just do a really good job in the record, and then I would leave the results up to the universe. And that's what I did. And you know what? The reviews I got across the board were great, except for one dumbass in England, but that's a whole other story. But it said the most wonderful things that I would want to hear in the reviews. It sounds great. I took a lot of time with the liner notes because I remember when I was a kid that meant a lot to me reading liner notes. It sounds great on the radio, and I was played a lot on Underground Garage. There's really no, it's a classic rock record, but it's not old, so I couldn't get any. And I did the record I always wanted to do.
Well, I love that you love it.
Oh man!
Because that to me, that to me as a fan of anybody, if I know that, I want to hear it. So why don't you guys go out and pick up a copy? Where can that be picked up?
Well, you can get it on, if you go to my website, rickybyrd.com, you go to the store, it'll lead you to Amazon or iTunes.
Well, I suggest that you do pick it up because I can guarantee you one thing. This record came from his heart.
No doubt.
And he loves it, so...
And my wallet.
And his wallet, so let's refill it. All right, we have so much to talk about. I mean, my God, this man was just put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a week and a half ago, or 2 weeks ago, and
I like the word inducted better than put in.
Well, depends how you look at it.
Just don't say
he was inducted.
Indicted. He was indicted
into the Royal House of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But I did follow your journey there. I followed along on Facebook with you, and I enjoyed living that surreal thing through you, because I could feel, what.
Oh, I had a smile on my face the whole time.
I could feel. I mean, the pictures spoke for themselves. I mean, my favorite picture is of you and McCartney on stage, and McCartney, you could just tell he was all in.
Oh,
he was all in, And I mean, when you got McCartney on the stage with you, and you're fronting, and he was all in. I mean, come on,
here's
man.
The thing.
It don't get any
Here's
better
the thing
than
with that. So the finale was what you'll see it on May 30th on HBO.
We're gonna see it.
But the finale was, everybody was on stage. Anton Fig was playing drums. Ringo was playing drums. Joe Walsh was up there. Peter Wolf was up there. Stevie Wonder was up there.
Paul Schaefer.
Paul Schaefer was the MD.
The kid from, Green Day.
Billy Joe Armstrong was up there. Who else was up there? Gary Clark Jr., Doyle Bramall II. Oh God, please don't let me forget anybody. And some bass player with a Hofner bass. And so in soundcheck, we worked it. Everybody. We did a little help from my friends, and then I Want to Be Your Man. And it's even surreal saying it. And I Want to Be Your Man, we went around like, okay, Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. Okay, Joe Walsh, you're going to do the first solo, Billy second, Tom Morello third, Ricky fourth, I think it was Gary Clark fifth, something like that. So, the whole show's over. My speech is over, so I'm already calm now. I'm just watching the show. And you could see in the video on YouTube, Paul is walking around with notes, and he's going up to people and tapping. You're next.
Right.
I don't know. I was so in the moment. Okay, so you have to understand, it's Paul McCartney, right? So nobody really got near him, really, except for Ringo.
Right.
But when Paul said it's your turn next, my brain just said, you're never going to have this opportunity again.
Right,
I just Bronxed him.
Yeah.
I just walked. You could see me.
I'll show you.
You see me go like this, like that with my head. And he starts walking towards me, and I start walking towards him. And I'm doing my solo right in his face. Now, the deal is, everybody else was playing straight up lead guitar, right? Which we all do great in our own styles.
Right.
But something said to me, go the other way, Chuck Berry. So you'll hear it. My guitar sounded great. I
You
have
know
my Blue
what?
Les Paul.
I know we're going to go out of order a little bit here. How
You got it?
about we go to that? Janine, can we go to that video? Enjoy this, people. This is amazing.
You'll hear me doing my Chuck Berry and Paul smiling. You can see.
Plays bass occasionally. Paul McCartney. Yeah. And I think you know this number. If you don't know this song, you're certainly in the wrong venue. Sang out of tune when you stand up and walk out on me. Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Yeah, I get high with a little help from my friends. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. What do I do when my love is away? Does it worry you to be alone? How do I feel at the end of the day? Are you sad because you're on your own? Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Yeah, I get high with a little help from my friends. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? I just want someone to love. Would you believe in a love at first sight? Yes, I'm certain it happened all the time. What do you see when you turn out the light? I can't tell you, but I know it's mine. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Yeah, I get high with a little help from my friends. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? I just want someone to love. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Yeah, I get high with a little help from my friends. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. A little help from my friends. Thank you. Thank you everybody on stage tonight. Thank you. What a great gift. What a gift. Okay, I think we're gonna do another number for you now. And
So Ricky, how did it feel to play with all those rookies?
Oh, that happens every day.
How surreal is that? My God.
I mean, first of all, that is that's just somebody's cell phone from the rafters, right? There's some really great moments in that. The first one, in the second verse, for some reason, there was a moment where myself, I think Tom Morello, Zach Brown, and Billy Joe Armstrong, and then I think a little bit of Joe Walsh. Ringo and Paul are standing there singing the second verse, but behind us, we're not even facing the crowd. We're kind of in a semicircle, just being guitar players, just kind of grooving with it.
Right.
It just happened like that, We were just getting off on each other's guitar playing.
You could see that. You could see everybody feeding off of each other.
And then at the end, while they was doing that last verse where we were all just supposed to play, I was looking at me and Gary Clark were kind of doing a little thing together. I'd play a riff, he'd play a riff. But like you can hear that everybody sort of went for a regular straight-up lead guitar.
Right.
But my brain said Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry.
Because everybody was playing straight guitar.
Right.
So when I did that thing and I kind of walked straight up to Paul, which I don't even remember doing, my feet just did it. I just started doing, and he just, the grin was from ear to ear.
You could see it.
So after the show, at the after party, I said to him, I hope I didn't, step over any lines by getting close to you like that. He said, no. He says, people are intimidated by me. And he said, he really appreciated it. He says, no, that Paul bouncy thing. He said, that was so rock and roll, man. That was great.
Yeah, he was definitely into it, no question.
And I just totally, I just do what I didn't mean disrespect. I got into this rock and roll moment.
Hey,
I would do it to anybody.
You got the card.
Nah, yeah, I know, but that's besides the point. It's still Paul McCartney.
Yeah,
but I just felt it, and my New York legs just took me right over to the London guy.
The Bronx was talking.
The Bronx was talking.
That's all. All right. Well, listen. I want to. Why don't we take a little trip down memory lane here? Let's go back to the beginning.
Swell.
And how about we go back a little? I love rock and roll. How about that, Janine?
By the record machine, I knew he must have been about 17. He was strong, playing my favorite song, and I could tell it wouldn't be long that he was with me, yeah me. And I could tell it wouldn't be long that he was with me, yeah me, singing. His name. That don't matter, he said, 'cause it's all the same. So can I take you home where we can be alone? And next we were moving on. He was with me, yeah me. Next we were moving on. He was with me, yeah me. Singing. Take you home where we can be
All right. Now, nothing really has to be said about that.
Well, I mean, if people are interested in the history of it, we did that in a club called Privates. Do you remember Privates?
Yeah.
It was, I think it was like 80 something on Lexington Avenue.
Right.
So there were a couple of rooms that were concert rooms. I remember
Used to
seeing
be a
Steve
Gimbals,
Marriott there.
Yeah. Gimbals used to be right by.
Really?
Yeah.
There was a bar on the corner, when you first walked in, and that's where we did that video. But that was, what was it, 82, I guess? Something like that.
Yes,
I was a mere lad. I was
Well,
a child.
Well, listen, there's not much. I mean, everybody on the planet knows that song.
Yeah.
Everyone. So.
And
I
that
mean,
guitar, that Black Les Paul, is in the
in
Rock
the
Hall.
rock, yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, it's in the
I saw it.
exhibit.
That's
That's a whole
that
other
had
story.
to be it. Now, how was that feeling to let go of that?
Oh, well, I didn't
It's in the
give
right
them
place.
that. I loaned it to them for a couple of years.
Oh,
that
yeah.
guitar, but
Yeah.
I gave them my first acoustic guitar, which I mentioned in this speech. I gave them my outfit. I mean, we walked in and we took a little tour of the museum. I mean, I actually play. I'm in like a rock hall band, and I do. When the Rock Hall induction is in either New York or California or whatever, they always have this big giant charity
Right.
thing that I play every year. Same place, the convention center, with Jeff Carlisi from 38 Special and Liberty DeVito from Billy Joel's band. We're
Good
like the
guy.
Rock Hall band. We're actually called the Magnificent Bastards. But but I wanted to see the exhibit and some of the other stuff that I never really saw. But every year I kind of walk through the Rock Hall by myself, just to get the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And more than the rock and roll stuff, I'm always moved by Sam Cooke's tuxedo, Howlin' Wolf's money suitcase that he
Yeah.
would bring to gigs, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I
gives me the chills.
Like I went to the Baseball Hall of Fame, and I actually stood there in tears just looking at Roger Maris's jersey.
Yeah,
I mean because that was my
absolutely.
My guy, you
And
know?
Mantle was my guy.
Yeah.
In fact, I was born the same day,
Really?
not the same year. But so we got there. We dropped the bags off. We went down. We had a special tour, private tour of the thing. The first thing they took us to was the exhibit. Now this year, what they did is, as soon as you walk into the museum, they set up the exhibit of Lou Reed, Stevie Ray.
Right.
It's like all in one shot. And I went over there, man. It's so bizarre. And first of all, there's the pictures.
I think that goes for anybody.
But my outfit, my first leather jacket,
Yeah.
my T-shirt from Kingdom Sound, I gave them, which was the studio out here we did the I Love Rock and Roll record. My leather pants, my first Doc Martens. I mean, it was like, is this right? It can't be right.
I can't even go there, but
Yeah, it was really
had to
bizarre.
It had to be cool though.
I mean, dude, I'm completely humbled by the whole
Yeah.
thing of it, and
but that's what I like. About
people
it.
like to bitch about the Rock Hall. Most of those people aren't in it.
Yeah.
But I find it really unbelievable. Like, maybe it should be called something else, because, like, the Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I agree with that, because there's a lot of stuff that isn't
Right.
rock and roll,
Right.
but
Some
and there's a lot of
country and
people.
disco and
why isn't this one in? Why isn't that
Right.
one? Well, they only let 5 people in a year, and it's going to take forever.
Right. I
You
would
know?
like to see Deep Purple get in though.
Of course, but there's a lot of bands. There's
Yeah,
Jay
sure,
Giles. There's a
sure.
million bands that should go in.
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you what. When you're being inducted into it, it's the greatest place on earth.
I'm sure it is. And the only place on earth, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's what it is.
Well,
man. It's
listen,
great.
why don't we go to another video? But why don't you set up this video?
Right. Okay.
Rock and Roll Boys, how about you set this up for us?
Okay, so this video, this is the one and only video I did for my record, Lifer, and I did it in a bar owned by my friends Richard Manitoba, Handsome Dick Manitoba from the Dictators, and his wife Zoe. And it's one of the last surviving rock and roll joints in Manhattan. And we shot the video in there. And what it's about, Rock and Roll Boys. I mean, if you listen to the words, I was hanging out in Manhattan pretty early with Phony Proof, of course.
We all did that.
So we moved from the Bronx when I was like 13. We moved to Queens, and I met a whole new bunch of people. And then this group of friends, who a couple of them I'm still friends with, we would go to Max's Kansas City on 17th and Park Avenue, South.
We probably had a few together in there, I'm sure.
Maybe. But I was 16, and funny enough, Mickey Ruskin owned Max's Kansas City. Very quick history. Max's probably was started in the 60s, and it started as a Mickey loved artists and art, and he would just let famous artists and writers eat lunch in there for free, and he would start a tab with them. So they would come in and famous people, famous artists would come in. My tab's $2,000. Here's a painting.
Right.
Somewhere in the late 60s, early 70s, there started to be a rock and roll club. And I started going there probably 73. I was 16. And you would go there, and look, you know, they're coming up on the 50th anniversary. There's going to be a couple of shows in Manhattan.
I'm looking forward to that.
Time has a lot to do with the way you make things up in your head.
Yeah.
Because I remember going there a lot of nights where there was nobody in there.
Yeah.
You know, we would come into the city, we'd stand there, and it would be empty. But when it was going, it was, dude, it was packed.
I used to
and
see
Lou
everybody
Reed would
in
be
there.
there. I mean, I remember, I told you before, I was standing at the bar, and Angela and David Bowie walked in matching suits, and you know, I remember when Martha Hoople played the Uris Theater. That was their Queen opened for them, their first tour, and I remember there was the back table. There was a big table in the back where they sat the rock stars.
Right.
I mean, one thing for sure: if Zeppelin played at the Garden, 3 hours later they would be anybody that played, they would wind up there. So that brought women, right? And women brought us.
You got that right.
That's how it works,
That's
right? So we would go hang out there. And I remember standing behind Martha Hoople and talking to some of them and just being a fly on the wall. And I was already 16, man. I was in a velvet suit with hair spiked up and a whole bit. And then 20 years later, I was Ian Hunter's guitar player.
Yeah, that you.
So Rock and Roll Boys, if you listen to the words, it's all about Max's Kansas City.
Well, I spent a lot of time in Max's and CBGB's, but Max's, I remember standing in there and John Lennon standing right beside me.
I never saw Lennon
Andy
there.
Warhol.
I saw Alice Cooper,
Yeah.
Mick Ronson, Mott, like Zeppelin.
Right.
And before, there was actually a place called Nobody's on Bleecker that I went to before Max's. And it sort of crossed. The funny story about Max's is Mickey Ruskin, you know, he was a cranky guy, right? Rough and tumble guy. And he owned
Like
Max.
a Toots Shore kind of guy.
Yeah, but a rock and roll guy version.
Yeah.
And he would never, I mean, we always had a problem getting in. You know, it's like if we were like, it would always be, no, you got to come with 3 girls tonight. No, you got to, because we were just kids.
Right.
I mean, the dolls were big,
Right.
but we were just the kids from Queens and then one night at a family dinner, my Uncle Don said to me, you ever go to a place called Max's Kansas City? And I went, yeah. I'm the liquor distributor to that place. So the next time I went there, Mickey Ruskin said, no, I'm sorry, not tonight. And I said, you know Donald Cantor? And he said, yeah, of course I do. He says, that's my uncle. Come right in, son.
Another free ticket.
And from then on in, I had no problem getting into Max's Kansas City.
Did you ever go to the Generation? It was a short-lived place. It actually is now Electric Ladyland.
No, I think that was before me.
It was like 60.
No.
Yeah, but I got to actually sit down with Hendrix.
I missed Cafe Wah. Look, I was 16 in 73, so I missed Cafe Wah. I missed the Action House.
Yeah, see,
I was right on the border.
I had all that.
I didn't see the Rascals play at the Action House.
I did. I was very fortunate.
Or the Vagrants
Yeah.
with Leslie's old band.
I was with one of them the other night at the show with Rascals.
It's that really short, you know.
He sat right next to me.
That 1-2 years in either direction.
That's right.
The difference between
People
me
don't
missing
realize how just a couple of years in music is generations.
Well,
you
back
know?
then it was, yeah. I mean, my when I was that age and I was hanging at Max's, Ziggy Stardust,
Right.
Exile on Main Street, you know,
See,
first couple of
the
Zeppelin
Beatles,
records.
Zeppelin, Cream, Hendrix, you know, that was mine, you know.
And I would go in, me and my friends would take the train in, and we'd go every weekend, we'd go to Manny's Music. Right?
Oh, sure.
And in those days, whoever was playing, like if Mountain was playing, Leslie would be at Manny's,
Right.
you know, buying stuff. Like that doesn't happen anymore. They send somebody.
Right.
I'll never forget, I was there once, and Ronnie Wood was in there, right? Remember, I was just a kid, 17 maybe. And the guy Henry, you know, one of the guys that owned it, or the son, I overheard him saying, Ronnie Wood standing, and I overheard Henry go to one of the sales clerks. Hey, who is that? That's Ronnie Wood from the Stones. And then all of a sudden you see Henry go, Ronnie, baby! And that's show business, man. You know?
Well, let's see a little Rock and Roll Boys. What do you say, Janine?
ready to play. I got girls on my mind, rock and roll in my veins. No getting worked up about the future. Gonna be a big deal one day. We were the young dudes, wide-eyed with hope, down in Max's Kansas City, trying to learn the ropes from the glam rockers and glitter girls, running fast, easy and broke. I'd lace up my boots and spike my hair. The look was to look like you don't care. On the street I caught more than a few nasty stares, and I liked it. Cause the girls all wanted rock and roll boys. Girls all wanted rock and roll boys. All those girls all went for rock and roll boys. I got to be one of the rock and roll boys.
Do tell.
I can still hear that jukebox like it's 74. Sweet Jay, stay with me. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. And if you can't rock me, somebody will, that's for sure. Those lusty nights, holding up the bar while in the back room Iggy's showing the hunted scars. But behind those shades, the vision fades. Spring knows the ride can only go so far. There's Alice in the corner, bottle in his hand. He'll drink you under the table just 'cause he can. Ronson, such a pretty boy, chatting up a pair of legs. I've got quite the education, mercy. 'Cause the girls all wanted rock and roll boys. Girls all wanted rock and roll boys. How those girls all went for rock and roll boys. I got to be one of the rock and roll boys. Been waiting to do this for years. Got nothing to complain about. Things worked out fine for me. I got most of what I wish for, but nothing comes free. As I write this song, I sit here, six-string razor on my lap. There's only moving forward, 'cause there ain't no going back. 'Cause the girls all wanted rock and roll boys. Girls all wanted rock and roll boys. How some girls all went for rock and roll boys. I got to be one of the rock and roll boys. 'Cause the girls all wanted rock and roll boys. Girls all wanted rock and roll boys. How some girls wanted rock and roll boys. I'm always gonna be one of the rock and roll boys. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4.
Rock without the roll.
Wow, that was a very, very cool video. But now I got to ask you, who was that young lady that was flying into the crowd at the end of that video?
So my daughter Frankie, I think she was 11 at that point. I convinced her to stage dive. And
Why not break him in early, right?
She had no problem with it, man. She just like
It didn't look it.
I said, look, they're gonna grab you, so don't worry about it. You just dive in, man. Everyone's gonna catch you. But see, at the end, I'm standing in front of the deli, which
Right.
was Max's. It's on 17th and Park.
That's
Every
sad
Sunday.
when they go away.
Change, it's the way it's supposed to be, I guess. Nothing's gonna last forever. But I say Max's doesn't live here anymore. So 2 things I'm doing. I'm borrowing from the Dylan video with the place cards, right? And I'm trying to make a point that Max's doesn't live here anymore. It was a big part of my childhood, man. I made my rock and roll bones.
Believe me, I'm with you on that. I mean, like the generation, like I was telling you, like I actually got to sit down and talk with Hendrix. I mean, now is Electric Ladyland. I mean, Hendrix bought it. It was short lived, but everybody played there. Joplin, everybody played there.
And let me tell you, man. We were living in Flushing at that point, so I would be. I mean,
Yeah.
We're friends, right?
Right.
I would be so drunk and high, and I would have to take the train home. And remember, it was 1974, so I was wearing platform boots that I
Right.
bought at Jumpin' Jack Flash,
Right.
that clothing store, in the middle of the winter with a velvet suit, you know, and I'd be going home on the 7 train. And I remember that we had my bedroom in the parents' apartment was the other side of the door was the kitchen. So the pots and pans hung on one of those, you know, those things that hang with the boards.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Hit him every time.
I knocked them all off every single time. I would try to be really quiet and go into my bedroom.
I know that
I would
feeling.
knock the pots
I
and
think
pans
we've
off.
all done that. There was something that we all knocked into. Well, why don't you set up this next video? I hate myself for loving
Right.
you.
So this was, let's see, when was this? 88 maybe? 87, 88? Because I was already clean by then. And that guitar, actually the guitar I used in the Rock Hall, that Blue Sparkle, is that same guitar that I just used in that video, and it's also the one I used in Hate Myself for Loving You. So it was like our second, there was the Isle of Rock and Roll era, Isle of Rock and Roll, Crimson,
Right.
that piece of time, and then there's like that little piece in the middle where you're looking for the next hit, and then Joan wrote that song "Hate Myself for Loving You" with Desmond Child, and then that came out, and then we had that in Little Liar, so that was our second generation. At that point, Lee and Gary were out of the band, and Tommy Price and Cassim Sultan, bass player and drummer, and me, Cassim, and Tommy, we were bad influences on each other. We were trouble walking.
Well, this sounds like the perfect song. So let's go to that video, Janine.
Somebody once said rock and roll never forgets. It's true, Joan.
Philadelphia, are you ready to rock? Mexico City, are you ready to rock? Joan, Jett, and the Blackhearts!
Midnight
Yeah. That's what it's all about right there, Jack. That's what it's
I haven't
all
seen that in a
about.
while.
He just said that. He said, I forgot to threw the guitar up in the air.
Yeah. Could have hit me right in the head, man. That would have been it.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, as much fun as this is, this next video that we're gonna go to is what I've been waiting all night to go to. And I'm sure everybody at home is waiting for this. The big moment in time. Do you
Is
have
this-
anything
is
you want to
this-
talk about before we run it?
Is this my famous sex video? Is that what this is?
Yeah. You know, I thought this was gonna be a big surprise too. You're really good.
God, it finally came out. This is, I assume you're talking about the Hall of Fame speech?
Absolutely.
Right. So, it seems I did a good job from what I heard, but
It was phenomenal.
I took a lot of time writing it, and they drove me crazy with the amount of time because it's known now as E Streeting. Because I heard that when the E Street Band was inducted, there was so many people, they talked so
Right,
long,
yeah,
it took
yeah.
forever.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
So now that there's actually a verb, don't E Street the speech, right?
Like the Apollo, the guy come running out with the hook.
Yeah. So they told me when when we first started that Steven Van Zandt, who was a pal, he called me and he said, "You got to do the speech in 60 seconds." I'm like, 60 seconds? I can't even say hello in 60 seconds. Somehow, and then I talked to the producer, who's an old friend of mine, and it got up to a minute and a half. People tell me that my speech was 3 minutes, and my speech was way shorter than most of the speeches that night.
Really?
Yeah, but they were driving me crazy. I was getting texts from the producer, Alex, who's a great guy, up until like a half an hour before the speech. I'm telling you, minute and a half. I was like so paranoid. I had all this stuff I wanted to thank.
You had to talk to Ringo about it a little.
I wanted to thank Keith Richards for leading me to the essential music, like John Lee Hooker and Chuck and all that stuff. But that's right. In soundcheck, I said to so we're all up there for the finale soundcheck the day before, and I see Ringo. He sees me. We make eye. He comes over to me. He says, "Oh," and he shakes my hand, and I said, how do I not cry during the speech? And he actually said to me, "There's nothing wrong with crying," just like that. And it wasn't even the Ringo voice; it was like the Ringo cartoon voice. Remember the cartoon when we were a kid? It was that voice, and that meant a lot, and that actually helped me. I mean, you see when I start talking about
And then you had
Joan
to have
for
a
1
meeting,
minute,
too.
when that's not for me to say. When I talk about Joan, I for 1 second I start to lose it, and then I regained it.
Yeah.
But
it must be difficult. I mean, it's got to be.
well, I could tell you, show business, honesty. I was reading off the teleprompter. I did not want to look down into the crowd because my whole record collection was in the crowd. So I was strictly looking at the teleprompter. And only when I got to the part about Joan, for 1 second did I lose it a minute. But one good thing that happened to me is when Miley came out and she inducted us and she said, her first line was, "The first time I wanted to have sex with Joan," or something like. A light went off in my head, and I said, "Oh, I got my opening line."
The Bronx Boy, the Bronx Boy.
And once I said that line, which you'll hear, and I got all that applause and stuff,
It was good.
then I was totally
Off and running.
Yeah, because
broke the ice.
here's a deal. When I have my guitar in my hand,
You're comfortable.
I'm Dean Martin.
Right.
Without the guitar,
Right.
Jerry
Jerry
Lewis. It's just as simple as that, man.
Yeah.
So I had to I was leaning on I had to use the podium as my guitar,
Good, yeah.
so to speak.
Hang on for
Because
dear
otherwise I
life.
didn't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah,
Guitar
yeah.
players, we don't know what to do with our hands. If there's not a mic stand or some kind of thing. But it turned out really well. I'm happy with it.
Well, let's all see. Bring it on. Janine, let's. All right, we got to work on the sound on that, but we will get that up
So
and
I
running.
decided to do it as a mime. And that's what you just heard. I was doing a Marcel
You
Marceau
could hear
thing.
a pin drop in that
Yeah,
place.
I
It
was
was
doing Marcel
amazing.
Marceau.
Amazing. All right, well, listen, we're going to take a little break. When we come back, we're going to work that out. Ricky's going to do a little live playing for you here. We're going to talk about some personal things with Ricky, and you're going to see just the man I was telling you about when we come back. So hang in there. Keep yourself tight. We'll be right back. Hang in there.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Being a fireman is more than just putting out blazes and giving kittens CPR. Sometimes my duty demands I fan the flames, like when a call comes in from a lady who needs immediate assistance. Maybe she needs help with a computer thing. Maybe she wants to go antique. Could be as simple as understanding that walking in heels it's hard. Aussi simple que l'été dernier à Paris. C'est sympa. Maybe it's ladies' night in, and she wants a simple, delicious recipe for margaritas with a twist. First, a can of limeade. Now hold on to this, you'll be using it. Side note, kittens make everything better. Next, add water. Now, a bottle of light beer. No, shh. Trust me, I'm a professional. And last, and most important, Sauza Blue tequila. Now, mix it up. Ole. Yes, that's what I'm trained for. Whether it's to help her choose leggings or pants, telling her leggings are pants, or discussing leggings and jeggings versus pant pegging at her next ladies' night in, I'll come to the rescue. Don't call me a hero. Just call me. Let me know what time.
All right, we are back with Sir Ricky Byrd right here in the Madhouse with the Maverick Soul. I am Tommy Moore, your host. Listen, we're having a little trouble with this thing, but we're going to try it again because God knows I want you guys to hear this speech because it was phenomenal. And I mean, it got to be one of your greatest moments in your life. So let's try it again, Janine. And let's all keep our fingers crossed. Okay, well,
I thanked you, and who else? Let's see. I thank Gibson Guitars. Maybe I can get some Gibson Guitars.
You do it.
No.
Now,
Gibson.
Listen, go on YouTube. It's on YouTube, right?
It's on YouTube, yeah.
Go on YouTube.
I mean, it's going to be on May 30th
Right,
on
I
HBO.
know. But I wanted to give. I really wanted to. What a great moment! What a great moment! And it was. And I'm telling you. You guys got to go on and listen to it because it was really good. It was funny, but it was sincere. It was honest.
You could find it. It's on my Facebook page too.
Yeah,
you could go on there.
And you have a like page also, right?
I have my personal page, which I am up to the limit, and I have my musician band page.
Well, I know you were talking, I believe, a day or two ago about let's get to 5,000, 4,000, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you guys. I want you all. What's the name of the page?
It's the Ricky Byrd musician band page.
Everybody, go to that page. Simply hit a like.
Yeah.
Because
come on,
believe me, man, he's one of the real ones and one of the good ones. So do the right thing.
The other thing is I use Facebook as for musicians. We do our business now.
Yeah.
But I'm also I get so much feedback from fans that grew up on the stuff I did. Look, I played with Joan. I played with Roger Daltrey. Ian Hunter, Southside Johnny, and then I do these rock hall things. I play with everybody. I'm always
played
posting,
with a couple
and those guys,
little names. Yeah.
But I'm always posting my career pictures. See, because people say they like them. And when I said I was going to go to the Rock Hall and I'll be your Facebook man on the street, I wasn't lying. That's why I took a lot of pictures. I mean, I was posting them as it was happening.
Well, you know what? Speaking of pictures, I know we have pictures, right, Janine? Why don't let's run through these pictures really quick, and Ricky, take us along the little trail here, this little path.
Look at that.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute.
The hair picture.
Look where we start with.
Right. So that is
a little guy named.
That's Robert Plant. And we were on the, I can't remember what album it was, but we were on the Plant tour. We were opening for Robert with Joan back then. This was maybe 87, 88 maybe. That's me and Jett.
That's on the right. Okay,
Yeah.
the one on the right.
That's me and Jett, and God knows when that was. I look semi-healthy, so it must be after 87 when I got clean. That, I don't look that healthy, so that was probably the early 80s. And that was my John Travolta hair. I'm definitely a man with 1,000 hairs. For some reason. I would get
Well, you
bored
still
really
got
early.
good hair, though.
I would, yeah, well, you have to.
Well, no,
This was a great, I grew up on the band Cactus.
Is that Carmine? Yeah.
That is Carmine. They were doing a radio
Jim
show
McCarty?
with the radio chick. And, yeah, Jim
Leslie
McCarty.
Gold.
Yeah, Leslie Gold. I ruined 2 copies of Parchments for him trying to learn Jim McCarty's guitar break. But they called me and said, look, we're going to do this. We're doing an interview. We're going to play live, but we're going to do some games up there. Jimmy doesn't want to do it, or he had a motorcycle accident. There was something going on. He had an accident or something. Would you want to come up and do it? And I said, oh, shit, yeah. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
And I said to Carmine, we were jamming a little bit. Me, Carmine, and Timmy Bogart.
I love Tim.
So, I mean, I grew up on Cactus and Beck Bogart and Appice, and I said,
Great album.
dude, me, you, and Tim, we could do the same BBA. You don't even have to change
There
the
you
monogram
go, there you
towels.
go.
It's the same thing.
Tim is done. He's done.
Yeah, I know, he's retired.
He's done.
That's Lala Brooks. She was in the Crystals. I put together a benefit for Hurricane Sandy in Howard Beach. Half our house was destroyed, as well as everybody's. So I had Ian Hunter and Simon Kirk and a bunch of great. Handsome Dick did it, and a bunch of people. Michael DeBar, my pal Michael, bunch of people. So that's Lala Brooks. She was great, man. Ah, yes, Alice. I mean, I'm a fan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I grew up listening to Alice when I was a kid, and I got him to do this charity for a treatment center in Boston called Right Turn, and we got to do like 6 Alice Cooper songs. So I was like grooving, man.
Cool.
I'm 18 and school's out, and No More Mr. Nice Guy. I can't remember a couple others. That is Alan Merrill, and that was Thanksgiving last year. Alan actually wrote I Love Rock and Roll with Jake Hooker.
Yeah, he was at the party at the.
Right. He's a great guy, and we share the bass player, Amy Madden, who plays in my power trio called Ricky Byrd and Deuces Wild. And we're actually playing at the Sidewalk Cafe this Wednesday night, May 6th, 10 p.m. This is one of my fun things, and we're just doing, it's just loud.
While we're in that neighborhood, we should give Cindy Dawson a shout out. Cindy!
Cindy Dawson, the sister I never wanted. No, I love Cindy.
Yeah, she's a great girl. Great girl.
But we're playing this Wednesday night, and it's just a loud ass power
Yeah.
trio doing blues
Cool.
and rock and roll stuff. Let's see, what's that? I can't see what that is. Oh, that's from the Rock Hall. That's Paul's Hofner bass and part of his head. Yeah. That's me and Jett, and that was in England. I remember that. I think we were playing with Hall & Oates that night, if I remember correctly.
Didn't you just recently play up at his place?
I
too?
did. He's got a great club.
Yeah, I love the show. I absolutely love the show.
That's me and Mr. Tyler. Going down, Mr. Tyler. That's me. So every time we'd have a break, we were on the Aerosmith tour, they would either rent a bowling alley, or if it was the summer, we would play baseball. So that was a bowling alley. This was great. This was this is a charity called Little Kids Rock that they get instruments in schools.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Little Steven was the MD, but I'm kind of like the MD of the band, which is I brought my band in the Hit Squad with Liberty, Christine Ullman, SNL live singer, and Bruce Southside, Steven, and myself, Bobby Bandiera on the right. The Wolfman and the Byrd.
Yeah.
Jay Giles,
Great
baby.
front man. Great front.
He's wonderful. He's great now, man. He's
Yeah, he looks good.
he's just
I'm
really.
glad to see he's back
He tells
out
the
there,
best
man.
stories too.
Yeah.
Jim McCarty
Another great
from
guy.
Cactus. That's me, Brad, and Steven Tyler. So this is my Facebook page. Nina Blackwood from
MTV.
MTV, one of the first VJs back when we started. when MTV was brand new and they actually
She
played
was on
music.
the first string.
That's right. 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. We both clean up nice, I think, though, don't we?
Yeah.
I'm
Good
wearing a
night, too,
tie.
right?
I'm wearing a tie. That's my pal Richie Super. So Richie lives in Florida. Richie played with Aerosmith for a while Joe Perry was doing his thing, and Richie is a very famous songwriter. He co-wrote Amazing, Pink, Chip Away the Stone, and artists, you know, a million other songs too. So we do a lot of recovery stuff together. That is the red carpet of the, and there actually was a red carpet at the Rock Hall. That's before yeah, that's in the empty room.
The seating arrangement.
The seating arrangement. I don't know. This guy just photobombed. I was taking a picture. I don't know who the hell he is. I said to him, we were doing sound check, and I said, "Hey, man, could I do a selfie?" And he started laughing. I said, "No, it'd be cool. It'd be cool." That's Miley. That's Hannah Montana, which I used to watch with my kid. All grown
She
up.
must have got a kick out of that, huh?
Yeah.
Your daughter.
She said, "I can't believe you met Miley." That's
a great picture.
Byrd
right
and
there.
Mac.
Great picture.
That's on the red carpet, me doing a really goofy face.
That's the Bronx thing.
Yeah, that, I can't see what that is. That's the, I guess that's the finale, right? Is that Billy
Yeah,
Joe?
it looks like it.
More finale. The pictures are getting smaller and
I
smaller.
know,
I'm getting
I
blinder.
know.
This was great.
There's my man right there.
So the after party, I sat down next to Steve Cropper, and
I love Steve
he
Cropper.
started just talking about Otis Redding, and
Oh my God!
told me
that man
stories that just
I
made
love the
me-
story that what they did with him and Wilson Pickett when they locked him like in a hotel room.
Yes.
I love that.
And
Steve
you know,
Cropper is oh my
he
God,
produced
he's a god.
he produced the Jeff Beck record with the orange on the front that Bobby Tench was on, so he was telling me Jeff Beck stories.
There's a guy I'd like to hang out with for a couple hours.
He's great, man. We will definitely hang again. He said, when you come to Nashville, man, you come to the farm, you come hang out at the farm, and
Yeah.
we'll do some recording. I'm like, yeah, okay, that'll work. What else we got? Dave Grohl.
Yeah, he's doing some great stuff.
Nice
too.
guy. He liked my speech. He said, great, nice job.
He's bringing. There's a guy who likes the imperfections and everything.
Yeah,
And
yeah. That's
I
a
like.
rock and roll
I love
band.
what he's doing.
Foo
right
Fighters
now
are
with
a rock
music.
and roll band.
No, but I mean what he's doing with the recording. He just had
Yeah, yeah,
McCartney
yeah.
in there doing a. I watched the other night. It was great.
Imperfections are what rock and roll should be.
Well, he bought that mixing board.
That's a good. I like
from,
that picture. That's me giving the speech.
Yeah.
Which we don't have sound. It was fabulous, baby. Yeah, this was before the show. I went up to the dressing room to say hi to Joan. I hadn't seen her. I mean, the last time I saw Joan was Lee Crystal, the original drummer, passed away unfortunately 2 years ago. There's the finale again.
Yeah, that's some great stuff right there.
There's me doing the speech, being Dean Martin or Jerry Lewis. I'm not sure
That's
which.
that's actually a great picture.
I probably went between Dean and Jerry at that point. That is the exhibit. And there's the famous I Love Rock and Roll jacket that Joan wore on the cover. And there's my outfit from the first couple of tours. That's the cover of my record Lifer, which you could get on Amazon and YouTube.
Yeah, pick that
Amazon and iTunes. It's a really great rock and roll. If you love rock and roll and you grew up in the 70s and you like everything from Otis Redding to the Rolling Stones, pick up this record. Ah, that's good. Yeah, you want to talk about that?
No, I actually want to get you up and maybe would you do a tune for us?
I could do a tune. Let's do a
What
tune.
do you say we do that?
Sure.
Janine, are we prepared for him to do a tune?
Should I just do it, sit up and you
All right,
take
we
a
just
break?
need
You
a
want me to-
couple seconds for her to switch over, and we're gonna go. Get yourself comfortable. Get
I'm going to
yourself
sit
ready.
up here because it's easier, and there's no arms. And I need the lyrics with the little lights.
Oh yeah. If I can move my leg, I can move my leg. Don't get your knee done.
I can. Oh, you know what? Tilt it just a little bit down so I don't get the glare. There you go. Yeah. And you can turn the guitar down a little bit. It's quite loud. When I hear myself, I get confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sir.
Was that all live? Did we do that live? That change around? Imperfections. So this song's called Lighthouse. This is brand new, right? This is what I mean about I don't care about mistakes or imperfections. And this ties into what we're going to talk about, sobriety, which is a big part of my world. I've been in long-term recovery for coming up on 28 years. And I do a lot of music groups at detoxes. I work with Sunrise Detox, and twice a week I go out to Sterling, New Jersey, and Toms River, and I do music groups for the addicts and alcoholics. So what I have is a collection of songs. Most of them I wrote with Richie Supa, who we talked about a minute ago, and they're either about addiction or the recovery side of it. And this one is about hope, right? So this is called Lighthouse. And you know, like I said, I grew up on Otis Redding, and so this has that kind of feel to it. This is the first time I'm playing this song too. I was down and so torn up, wasted every day. I followed my own lies till I lost my way. Got an endless list of my regrets I'm trying to get past. I think I've had enough at last. There's a lighthouse out in the distance, and it shines to guide me home. When I'm lost, your love lifts me ever higher. When I can't make it on my own, now I hide my pain so deep inside, so no one else can see. I kept playing with fire till it burned a hole in me, and I ran with my reckless ways, thought I'd never fall, till I crashed and finally lost it all. There's a lighthouse out in the distance, and it shines to guide me home. When I'm lost, your love lifts me ever higher. When I can't make it on my own, don't wanna wind up in an early grave. This road to ruin is killing me. Oh, yeah. It's time for changing, 'cause I don't like what I see. Oh yeah, I got to believe there's a lighthouse out in the distance, and it shines to guide me home. When I'm lost, your love lifts me ever higher. When I can't make it on my
home. There's a lighthouse. Oh, there's a lighthouse. There's a lighthouse, and it shines to guide me home. Oh, it shines to guide me home.
Well, so that's the first time I did that one.
Want to try another one?
Yeah, we could try another one.
I mean, not that you have to try, you know.
Let's see. You want me to do?
I want you to do what you want to do.
Let's do. I love doing the recovery songs. Can we turn this to? Here's some show business. I'm reading the lyrics. My brain is. The other way. Clean Getaway. Let's do Clean Getaway. Keep going, baby. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you go. This is, so can I talk a little bit about Clean Getaway before? All right, so I started an organization called Clean Getaway. And it's escape through the music, right? Escape through the music. Make a clean getaway. And what we're going to do is, I have an all-star band. If you go to clean-getaway.com, clean-getaway.com, it's a great website. It just literally just went up, and we have an all-star band, which has a core group, people like Liberty DeVito from Billy Joel's band, Kasim Sultan played with Utopia, Mark Stein from The Fudge, Richie Supa. Who else we got? I can't even think. Oh, Christine Ullman, of course, who's the Beehive Queen. She sings with the Saturday Night Live Orchestra, and that's the all-star band. That's the core group, and then we have, based on availability, I'm starting to collect people. I just got I met Chris Layton from Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, so he's going to do it, and it's people that are either support the recovery lifestyle or are in recovery, like myself. Not everybody wants to talk about it. I am not anonymous because I find that I could help people. You know, I stick to the traditions. I don't talk about certain things, but I'm in long-term recovery, and I'm collecting people. And what we're going to do is we'll do shows, and we'll get sponsorship, and we will raise money for people that don't have insurance to get into treatment. So I do these detoxes at Sunrise Detox. I do it twice a week, and I get the same thing over and over again. Please, can you get me into treatment? Because a lot of these people they have lousy insurance. They don't have insurance. Manages to squeeze out the 7 days in detox. And an addict and alcoholic who goes back on the street after detox without the tools of recovery most likely is doomed to repeat. So we're going to raise money for that. And we're going to raise money for wounded war veterans that come back addicted. And that's my two things. I promise you, as I'm sitting here, this is going to be one sober rock and roll motherfucking monster. Give me some time. What I could use now is if there's a lawyer in recovery that wants to do some service and help me get a foundation together. I'm trying to get that stuff together and do some free legal work for us, be of some service. That's the deal. That's what Clean Getaway is. So in the next year, you're going to hear a lot about it. If you go on clean-getaway.com, you could read all the testimonials from patients. Here's the deal. On my cell phone, people find me on Facebook, so I either get some of these people I play to, and they say, "Hey, man, I saw you in Tom's River at Sunrise Detox. I'm sober 3 months now. That was so powerful." Or I'll go there and they'll say to me, "Hey, remember that kid, that nice kid? He didn't make it." And that's usually the way it goes. I try not to get attached. Okay, I'm getting choked up. But I try not to get attached to these kids and their kids. And they just keep coming back. over and over again. And I try to explain to them that they're running out of options. They're running out of chances. It's like eventually if you keep rolling the dice, you're going to come up with snake eyes. The statistics are staggering how many young adults are dying right now from prescription drugs and heroin. I'm just trying to earn my cheap seats in heaven, you know what I mean? Just a little bit. But we wrote this song called Clean Getaway, me and Richie. This is my story. I was 13 years old when I tasted my first high. Well, I was 13 years old when I rolled up that first high. Yeah, that buzz became my best friend now. And it took me on one hell of a ride. I went down to the bottom. My life was stripped bare to the bone. Well, I spent years on the bottom now. You know, I call that place my home. By the time the ride was over now, I was strung out, desperate and all alone. Oh yeah. There's only one way out now. I had to make a clean getaway. Well, there's only one way out. I had to make a clean getaway. Now I'm free, a prisoner no more. Lord have mercy, let it stay that way. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm gonna play a little bit now.
It's a clean getaway now. I ain't tied to those chains no more. Well, I made a clean getaway. I ain't tied down to those heavy chains no more. And when the devil comes a knocking, you know I ain't gonna answer that door.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Beautiful, 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 man. 1.3 million women are victims of physical assault by an intimate partner each year. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, the majority of cases aren't reported to the police. Most people who are in an abusive relationship don't even know they're in one. The truth is, all abusive relationships boil down to one thing: control.
How do you like it? My new dress.
Are you out of your mind? You look like a prostitute. We're not going out with you dressed up like that in public.
But what am I supposed to wear?
Wear something decent. You can't wear that out in public. We're going to be late. Get back in there and pick a different outfit. I'm going to go run some errands. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Please be ready, okay?
Fine, I'll change. Fine.
Abuse is not always physical, leaving wounds that are visible on the outside. Emotional abuse is just as painful, only these wounds are hidden on the inside.
Are you out of your mind? You're crazy. You look like a prostitute.
Know that abuse is abuse, no matter what the form.
Look at me.
Oh my God, what's wrong with me?
Physical abuse scars the body.
I just want him to love me.
But mental abuse scars the mind.
What you just saw was an example of a relationship that is emotionally abusive. Nobody has the right to tell you how to dress or how to act. If someone really cares for you, they won't tear you down. They will build you up.
How do you like it?
Wow. You look great. Fantastic. But then again, you look great all the time.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd like it. It's my new dress. I bought it just so we could go out tonight.
You look stunning.
Thank you. But I think I'm going to take a sweater just in case it gets cold tonight.
Great idea. I'm going to take one too. Let's go.
All relationships are not perfect, but a healthy relationship is when two people bring out the best in each other and have each other's good in mind. Take your time to know someone instead of rushing into something. It is better not to involve yourself with an abusive person than to try and get out of a domestic violence situation.
If someone is abusive to you and you need help, please call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. They have highly trained experts available 24/7 who will speak with you confidentially and offer information regarding the unhealthy aspects of your relationship, resources, or immediate support for victims to find safety and live lives free of abuse. Domestic violence affects us all.
It affects us all.
Nos afecta a todos.
It affects us all.
모두에게 영향을 줍니다.
Che ci ricarte tutte.
It affects us all.
Domestic violence.
Right, so it seems I'm going to do one more song. Is that it?
Ricky, it would be my pleasure for you to do another song.
So here's the thing. By coincidence, the one of my my favorite soul singer of all times is Sam Cooke. So you know, like I was saying, I was led down the path by people like Keith Richards by reading articles, and they taught me history. And they sent me back to Sam Cooke and Wilson Pickett and Otis Redding and Jimmy Reed and Elmore James.
Let me ask you something. Were you happy when you called my phone and you heard?
Well, that's what I'm getting to. And I called you that time, and I heard this particular song. This is my favorite Sam Cooke song. I do this at the detoxes. It always leaves them crying because this was written in 1968, and it was about civil rights. It was actually his response to "Blowing in the Wind," is what I read. But the words are so much about the feelings of addiction and hope. Anyway, but I love this. I always get the chills when I do this.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Just like that river, I've been running now ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change's gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will now. So I go to the movie and I go downtown, but somebody keeps telling me, don't you hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Then I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me, please. But it winds up knocking me. Knocking me back down, oh, back down to my knees. Well, there's been times when I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know gonna come. Oh, yes, it will now. It's been a long time coming. But I know the change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
Take us out to the commercial for this one.
On what? On this? You want me? Let's see. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there, beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming.
Guys, ready for the show? Yeah. Enjoy it.
All right, we are back, and I'll tell you what, man. Being a soul singer myself, that was as soulful as it gets. That was beautiful, Ricky. I'm telling you, that was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I do want to let you talk about something, but I want to, I do have a lot of friends out there, and my whole Woodstock Nation out there. I want to pick this up because you guys are a big part of this too. So we want to sell a little something for my man here. So Ricky, if you want to talk about this shirt.
So we made up these great T-shirts, great logo. Logo is done by my pal who played him. He was in the Rock and Roll Boys video. My bass player Scarlett Rowe. He's a great graphic designer. So that's the logo.
Very cool.
And it's Clean Getaway T-shirts. Escapes through the music and make a clean getaway. And on the back it says.
And something that we really do have to make happen.
A change is gonna come.
Yeah, man.
'Cause I know
that is cool.
Change
Listen,
don't come.
and they can pick these up.
You could get that, and then we got the girls shirt.
We got the girls
with
here
the little
too.
cap sleeves, and we got tanks also for all you sexy broads out there.
And I'll tell you,
because it's summer. Hot down summer in the city.
For more than anything, you're doing it for the right reason, man.
So let me tell you, this first batch is going to help us get Clean Getaway up and running. Pay for like expenses like getting the website up and all this kind of jazz, and
Cool.
hiring somebody to do the foundation and all the kind of legwork. Of course, unless one of you recovery lawyers want to do it just because. And we got these great hats too. You're sitting on the hat.
Oh, am I?
The hat's right there.
Okay.
We got these hats. And that's what we're doing. So you could if you go to clean-getaway.com and go to the store, all of these things are for sale. The shirts are in black and white, men's and women's shirts. The hats are in black and white, and on the back of the hats it says "Escape to the Music." All we're trying to do, man, is it's an unbelievable problem, and if we could help save a couple of lives, that'd be a beautiful thing.
There's no better gift you can do than that.
It's hard to keep ahead of the curve right now because of what's going on.
Right,
But hopefully we could you spread the message at least by wearing the shirt and show people that you're proud of your recovery.
Really, and I tell you, I thank you, and I will wear them proudly, and
Good.
I'll even wear them at some of my shows, and
Oh,
let
nice.
everybody know, and it's a beautiful thing. I think what you're doing is awesome. You should be. I mean, if there was a Hall of Fame for people like that, you'd be in that one also. Let me tell you something, man. Because let me tell you, I also in August I'll have 35 years myself.
God bless.
So I know the road. I've been down it, and there's nothing more than and what I tell people that are in this situation is, you won't believe, and I know you can back me up on this, because when you're in it full blare, and in your mind it's never going to be any fun anymore, and it's never going to, it's just always, you can't believe how good and how beautiful your life can really be. It is so much better.
Well,
Am
I know
right?
for a fact, because people always ask me this. The kids at the detox, they say, "Well, what is it? You still have fun?" And
Yeah, that's exactly.
my playing's never been the same. Never been as good as it is now. My singing's never been as good as it is now. When you see the Clean Getaway All-Star Band, we're just, there's no drinks, there's no drugs. We're just playing rock and roll because it's rock and roll and it makes us feel good. And
That's right.
Look, I don't judge anybody. I'm not here to preach.
We can't judge because we were down the same road.
Right, but I'm not here to preach.
Right,
if you can go
right.
out and socially drink, God bless you. It's not. It's just not
right,
my thing.
right, me neither.
One is too many, 1,000's never enough, as the saying goes.
And
I should be dead. And I
at
should be
27
dead.
years old, they gave me 2 years to live.
Yeah, and
they
I
said
had,
you'll be dead in 2 years.
I had my bottoms too.
Yeah.
I collapsed my lung when we were on the road in '83, being the bad boy, and I was like 15 minutes away from having a massive heart attack.
Yeah.
And then I still used until '87. So we all have our own bottoms. So once again, I'm not. If you can drink a cocktail and then go home and take care of your family like an adult, God bless you.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to get into. If to me, if something should be outlawed, it really should be alcohol. Really. I don't see the upside to it.
And bad music.
And bad music. That's right. Listen, I really honestly think we have the speech. I think we have the speech. So I can't think of any way better than to come to the end of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful journey this night has brought me on. I thank you so much.
Thank you for asking me, brother.
We're going to come back and say goodnight. But right now, let's see if we can go to that speech. And listen, you guys that are looking to go into recovery, look what can happen. Look what can happen. Just check this out.
Hello, baby. I've been waiting for you. Let me clarify one thing, Miley. We all wanted to fuck Joan. Sorry, babe. I'm from the Bronx. This is how I speak. In 1965, I watched two bands on the Ed Sullivan Show that would forever change my life. The Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Even at the tender age of 9 years old, I absolutely got it. One, they looked like I felt. Two, the girls were screaming. And three, and most importantly, Ed looked completely confused and horrified. The next day, I asked my mom for a guitar. About a week later, she brought me home my first acoustic. That guitar now resides in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I would like to thank my mom for bringing home that guitar and for all her support that continues to this day, but mostly for never asking that dreaded question. Hey kid, when are you gonna go out and get yourself a real job? Next I want to thank Carol K. Byrd, the publicist, not the bass player. We met in 1977. She has had my back ever since. She has always put me first and had to put up with the usual nonsense one puts up when married to a musician. Carol actually introduced me to Joan and, quite frankly, to most of the people I would wind up playing with. So it's safe to say that without her help, I would probably be working the men's cologne counter at Macy's right about now. You have my love and gratitude. A big thank you to our 13-year-old daughter, Frankie, who was truly not impressed by any of this. She did ask if this meant she could now meet Iggy Azalea, for which I replied, baby, in my world, there is only one Iggy you want to meet. Fucking Pop. I want to thank Kenny and Meryl Laguna for believing in Joni when no one else did. No doubt the reason why we are standing here tonight. A thank you to all the other Blackhearts, from Eric Gamble to Tommy Price, who, by the way, should also be going into the hall tonight. A huge thank you, and congratulations to my old pal, Joan Jett. We traveled the world together. Breathe, baby, breathe. We traveled the world together and kicked some serious ass. You can be sure the tank was always on empty when we left the stage, and I am proud to have been part of your journey. You are a true rock and roll icon, and no one deserves this honor more than you two. To the fans for remembering the core four, Joan, Gary, me, and sweetly Crystal. We wish you were here with us tonight, my brother. Thank you all for this wonderful honor, and I am truly humbled. Let me end this with the eloquent words of Mr. Chuck Berry. Hail, hail, rock and roll.
Well, can you end it any better than that?
Yes, I will be playing at the Comedy Club next Friday night.
No, for real. I mean,
2 shows.
I got to tell you something. This has been such a special night for all of us here in the Madhouse, and I mean, the world needs so many more people like you. And I mean, I can't thank you enough for coming.
Just so you know, I can be an asshole.
Listen, if you couldn't be, I wouldn't even want to know you. Because if you're not, Ken and Barbie's already been taken.
Yeah. 100 people just watched this and went, yes, he can!
Well, Sir Ricky Byrd, America's royalty, I want to thank you personally from the bottom of my heart,
man.
because
Thanks for asking
you deserve everything that you got, and I congratulate you. But most of all, I really thank you for what you're doing to help people, because there's nothing really better you can do, and you're actually saving lives. And don't think you're not. I mean, I know you are, but you are saving lives. And I mean, we do our part here as best as we can, and I know we're going to be doing some stuff with Linda over there and Donna, and we're going to save lives also, and maybe we can hook you up together with them, and they'll get you a lawyer for free or something. And I'm sure they can.
They're expensive. Goddamn lawyers.
We'll get them for free. But again, from Vicky and Tom and my beautiful Janine in there, we thank you for gracing our studio. It's been a privilege.
And if anybody wants to get in touch with me for any of this Clean Getaway stuff, if you want us to come play, we could talk about how much it costs for us to come play as a big band, or there's the Unplugged thing. You can get in touch with me at chaosproductions@aol.com. That's KAYOS. Hi there. KAYOSPRO@AOL.com. It's funny, when I'm doing porn, I know exactly which camera to look at. But here, I have no clue.
But you're usually looking this way, right?
ChaosPro@AOL.com. If you have any good ideas for Clean Getaway, you want to join up, or this and that.
I just want to send out to everybody who watches the show, and I know there's a lot of you guys out there. Let's all do whatever we can, whatever in any way, shape, or form that you can, to do the right thing by people nowadays, because God knows this world needs, and hopefully, Mr. Byrd, a change will come.
You can only hope.
I'm going to leave it at that. And again, I could never thank you enough for gracing our studio.
Thanks,
I
brother.
thank you.
God
You're
bless.
a gentleman and a beautiful man, and I thank you. So, until we meet again, I am Tommy Marr, the Maverick Soul, and I have just been sitting with royalty right here in the Madhouse. So you have a blessed week, and we'll see you very soon.